So hi, I'm Manu Chao. I'm living now in Barcelona. I'm born in Paris, France. My family is from Spain. I made already a lot of bands in my life. Los Carayos, the Hot Pants. After that, Mano Negra. We've been touring all around the world, and that's the band that permits me to start traveling around the world. And now, for the last 4 years, I've been making like solo albums. First one was called Clandestino, and now I'm just gonna release a second one called Próxima Estación Esperanza. That means next station is hope. Mano Negra was a band that started in Paris. The first rehearsals were on the subway because that's where I found all the musicians of the band. I think the subway in Paris was one of the best music school we could find in Paris. Everybody there played for a living, no? So it was the music has to be good. And when you get in the subway and you start playing, all people say, "Oh shit, another musicians that try to take money from us." And in 3 minutes you have to change their mind, and so they say, and make them happy to give you money. So it's a really good school of music. And that's where we start Mano Negra. After we recorded our first album called Pachanka in a little indie record company, and I don't know what happened, but this record went really good, and he started working and going okay. So it was the first surprise for us. So after they called us everywhere to play in big venues around France, it was a big surprise. We have to adapt ourselves to that, but it was easy because we came from a good school. It was Subway. We were ready for anything. And after we made another album called Putas Fever, so that was the second big surprise, that they started to call us all around the world. We went to United States, we went to Japan, we went to South America, we went all through Europe. Until then, I became a traveling junkie. I cannot stop traveling. Now, in a certain way, for me, music is just an excuse. I want to travel, and give to the people what I do best, is music. I think traveling, the good way for traveling is to share with people. So they give you their hospitality, and I give my music. I'm born in Paris, and my family was from Spain. So I learned French and Spanish at the same time when I was a kid, and that was really good to start like that. After I learned English, like getting in my first bands in France, because we were like fans of early rock and roll, like Chuck Berry, Little Richard, also the Clash, punk bands that used to sing in English. So I started singing these songs. They were my teachers of English.
Music was the teacher of English for you?
Yes, really. Really soon I wanted to understand what these people said. It was not just the music, and I had the necessity to understand what these people were saying. So when I learned English, I understood that some of those bands have incredible good lyrics, and other bands just say stupidities. It was important to know English. With Mano Negra, when we start this kind of international career, that they start to call us to play all around the world, we were very happy. So we start touring like any kind of, all the bands used to tour, play everywhere. But very quick we found out that it was not the right way of traveling, because you go to all the countries, but they never give you time to know about the country. You just know the airport, the sound check, you play, you know the hotel, the trendy discotheque in town, and you're out. And you don't know nothing about the country. So really soon, with Mano Negra, we had a kind of new philosophy for our work, and it still works now for me, is that every country wants to spend time. And before writing songs or before give your songs to the people, you have to understand the country. So we decided to have like another politic about international, like an international band. We decided to maybe don't play in so much countries, but in every country we want to be considered like a hometown band. That's our politic. So in Colombia, I spent 1 year of my life in Colombia and playing in every little town, in places where even the government cannot go, even the army cannot go. We have to deal there with the guerrilla, with the paramilitaries. By the time this adventure was in 1993, by the time Colombia was the more violent country in the world. And the countryside we've been in Colombia was the more violent countryside of Colombia. And we've been there with a train, and we've been playing for all the countryside people. And well, it's one of the best adventures in my life. We like also to play in the countryside, because when you go to South America, I think the more important border you can find is not between a country and another. It's between big cities and countryside. It's really two different countries. And when you're touring like a band, you always go to big cities. You never play in the countryside for these people. So the travel in Colombia was that. We never played in Bogota, or we didn't play in Medellin or big cities. We only play in really little towns like La Dorada, Aracataca, little towns. For sure, in those little towns in Colombia, they never saw a rock and roll band playing there. It was a kind of meeting, you know. And but it was really interesting, because personally what I need to get inspired and to make my own music, it's not to listen to bands that do the same thing as me. I mean, it's kind of, I don't know how to call this music, but music from the city. I need to find the roots. I need professors of roots, and that's in the countryside. You can find that. After you can adapt that to the city, because I'm a rat of the city. I'm not a countryside man. I love to go to the countryside, but I'm from the city. My countryside is the city. For a long time now, my way of recording have changed. Till the last album of Mano Negro, I mean Casa Babylon, and now the new two albums, Clandestino and Próxima Estación Esperanza. The thing that have changed is that I don't go anymore to studios. Technology brought something to me that I was expecting for all my life. It's little studios that you can bring with you everywhere, in an airplane, in a bus, in a little A-track. So all you need is to plug in. And so I record everywhere I'm traveling. I'm like a photographer or like a journalist. I take pictures of the moment. And that's what I like in my job now, is to take little pictures of the moment. So that means that the second thing really important in my music on studio is that I never have like a kind of concept of what I want of my record or what's gonna be my record. Because who rules, who is really the chief, is the moment. So you don't decide. It depends who's coming, who gives you a little idea, what's happening. I don't have concepts for my records. The concepts have to must be built by itself. If there's a concept, there's a concept. If there's no concept, there's no concept. But it doesn't come from my head. It comes from casuality. I always think, and more now, I really believe that the best artist in the history of humanity is casuality. And I love working with casuality. I think it's a very difficult job also. It's not so easy to always have your door really open to casuality. It's an everyday job. I never go to studio, but I'm always recording, because the one who rules is casuality. If casuality is there and there's a good moment, there's something important happening, you have to be ready. Don't wait 1 week. It's going to be cold.